Hello gamers, I'm Kevin. Welcome to my stream. We're here to play some Magic. Doing an Arena Cube before Tarkir Dragonstorm is released. Pre-released this weekend and then released fully next week. Very exciting. Dragonstorm looks awesome, but I don't have early access, so let's have some fun playing Cube in the meantime. A couple weeks before a new set is released. It's always exciting on Arena because you get some throwback drafts, you get some cube drafts, lots of fun stuff. We had a good time playing War of the Spark past couple days, and now we're going to do a cube draft. All right, cube, pack one, pick one. Johnny Caller with Prize, not very good. Hostile Investigator's fine, but black is not like the color I want to be starting in this set. By any means, it's a little bit weaker than some of the other colors. A good bit weaker, actually, I should say. I see this Gilded Goose. It's one of the worst versions of the 1-mana dork. I'd rather have like any of the other ones because they get to be used more than once without making another food. I'm looking at like a Ruin Crab in this pack because that card's pretty silly. You can tear some people apart with it pretty quickly. I'm also looking at just taking a fetch land. Yeah, I mean, I could just take Ruin Crab. We do some pretty fun things with Ruin Crab and Mockingbird. But Mockingbird, if you don't kill people with Ruin Crab, it usually helps your opponent somehow. So I'm just going to take a fetch land here, stay open, see what gets passed our way. Problem with Ruin Crab is if you don't kill your opponent, it fuels them because oftentimes you want things in the graveyard with this set because there's Titans and there's Delve. So as much as I like the idea, I would rather take that Ruin Crab on the wheel to know that I can pull it off. All right, this pack has some goodies in it. We have an Impetuous Lootmonger. I think that might be one of the better cards in this pack. There's also an Overgrown Tomb. Helps us cast whatever spells we end up picking. This pack does not have a whole lot of power in it. Fatal Push is okay. I don't like Collective Brutality. I don't know. Silent Hall Creeper to me seems a little weak in this set. It's probably not that weak. Starting with a green-white land. I want to take this Impetuous Lootmonger. Heisting is very strong. Oh, look at this. 2 copies of Emerald Collector. That's interesting. There was one of those in the first pack we saw. I knew that dual lands could be copied, but I didn't realize that there are multiple copies of some spells too. Okay. So we could consider taking red-white cards, but Monastery Swiftspear is kind of low on the list of good red-white cards. Nissa Resurgent Animist, quite good, especially with Landfall. It finds things like Omnath and some of your other elves, which is good. There's also a dual land here, and I think I'm a little bit more interested in that. Not a whole lot of power in this pack. And this is definitely up there, but I'm just going to take this Bloodstained Mire, see what else gets passed our way. I'm waiting for a signal, really. Something that the 2 players to my right did not take intentionally and passed to me, which makes them think, you know, maybe I'll play that. And Ruby Collector is definitely one of those cards. Ruby Collector is awesome. It's one of the best white cards in the set. Really good for an aggressive deck. to pump your team for 2 mana. You get to get extra mana, that Mox Ruby. I'd like to wheel Toby Beastie Befriender out of this pack. Because Toby is really good. We're going to take Ruby Collector and be quite happy about it. Go with Sacred Foundry. This is interesting. We've got Emrakul. Nah, that card's expensive. Dig Through Time's fine, but also expensive. Delve is nice, but I don't know. We're looking at red-white right now, and there's a Sacred Foundry here, so we're going to very happily take it. Maybe we'll get past the Savai Triome or the Rip Apart on the wheel. Legion Warboss. The Legion Warboss might be a little bit worse than some of the other versions of that card. But it is nice to stack all of those goblin cards that make extra goblins. I like Journey to Nowhere, but it is a bit fragile in this set, just because there's a lot of random artifact and enchantment removal. Wingbane Vantisart is probably the best card in this pack, because that card is nuts. I'm between Marsh Flats and Legion Warboss, and I'm going to take Legion Warboss, just to make sure we send a signal. Okay, not much in red or white here. Shatterskull Smashing, I do not think is very good. But I mean, it could just fit into the deck. And sometimes it kills things. I don't know. There's other cards in this pack that are worth considering, like Mischievous Mystic, like Lush Portico. Lush Portico just makes it so we can get a Surveil land off of these and maybe play another color. I'm going to take that just in case. I'm not that excited about playing Shatterskull Smashing. So I'd rather have the opportunity to play another color if I get passed towards one. And pick 8, we get Generous Plunderer. That's a good sign for us, taking red cards. Generous Plunderer is a very good red card. Kills your opponent real fast, ramps you up, does all sorts of fun stuff. All right, Exquisite Firecraft does not look like a very good card. Looks kind of narrow. I see this Temple Garden, though, and this Gilded Goose. Look at that Ruin Crab coming around. I don't think Ruin Crab is the direction that we're moving in, but this Gilded Goose is really late for a possible red-green deck. I'll take that over the Temple Garden. Daikale Apparition is fine in an aggressive deck. Happy to take it. Stoke the Flames can definitely kill someone. Ephemerate seems cute, but I don't know. I'm going to take Stoke the Flames. We might be able to make use of all these red goblins. You could actually cast this after the goblin is created, so it doesn't have to attack, which is fun. Soul Shredder, interesting card. I think I'd rather have Shivan Devastator, though. I don't think Soul Shredder is very good. It's just interesting. Emrakul, the Promised End. Probably not going to make it in here. I should have taken that Temple Garden just in case. This isn't the kind of deck that needs Gilded Gooses. Gilded Geese. Okay. This is an interesting pack. We wield a No More Lies. Last pick, No More Lies. I do like the idea of playing some sort of America tempo control aggro. Some America tempo deck. But I also see Biza, and that card seems quite good. Not necessarily in an aggressive deck, though. Take Counterspell and like lean in, but I didn't get any dual lands to really support the blue half of things. Blue third of things, I suppose. I guess it's between Biza and like Obliterating Bolt. And I'm just gonna take Biza. Okay, this is interesting. A bunch of green cards. There's also a Bone Crusher Giant in here. Bone Crusher Giant's awesome. I think I'm gonna take that over everything else. Over Utopia Sprawl, over Lotus Cobra, over this dual land, or fetch land, over Glory Bringer. Maybe we'll wheel Glory Bringer. I don't want to play green. We just could play green. Goblin Bombardment. Now that's a card. That is a bomb and a half. Probably the best red card in the set. Maybe the second best. I don't know. It's up there. Kari Zev is quite good as well, but Goblin Bombardment is incredible. Very happy to see it. Robber of the Rich over a Bloodstained Mire? Yeah, this is a 2-drop with haste. It gets in there. Draws cards sometimes. Wow, what a pack. I think Den of the Bugbear is probably the best pick for us for an aggressive deck. I doubt we'll wheel the Goblin Rabblemaster since that other Goblin didn't wheel. But I also don't care about Goblin Rabblemaster that much. It's definitely good with Goblin Bombardment, though. Do we wheel Den of the Bugbear? I think I should take Den of the Bugbear. Having a land that attacks is really good. Stalwart Realm Warden. I think this card sucks. Pillar of Flame looks okay, and so does Condemn. I don't really want to be giving my opponent life, but Condemn does the trick. It gets rid of big life linkers and stuff for 1 mana that your opponent's going to attack back with. Pillar of Flame seems a little bit weaker, so I'm going to take Condemn. Legion's Landing. Blitzkindall is really good, but we're happy with Legion's Landing. That card's awesome. You want as many 1-drops as you can get in an aggressive deck, and here we go. 3 Tree Battalion. That is a bomb. 3 Tree Battalion is one of the best payoffs for playing an aggressive deck. 4 mana, instant speed. You get 2 copies of a creature that costs 3 or less from the top 6 cards of your deck. The second copy is a 1/1, but still, this card's nuts. There's a chance we don't even play Condemn, to be fair. There's a chance we don't even play Biza. I mean, really the most that we can hope for Biza in this deck is to draw a card with a 4/5. Obliterating Bolt on the wheel over that Warren War Leader. I don't think Warren War Leader is like even stable. I mean, it makes 1/1s. I'd rather have an Obliterating Bolt, though. I don't think Warren War Leader is very good. Here's a Piggy Bank. We like 2 drops over the Steel Seraph. Steel Seraph's a little fragile. And we wheel a Rabble Master. Wow, this pack is loaded. We did see a bunch of good blue cards coming around late. Not that surprising. There's a Twin Flame Tyrant. That card's not bad. Nexus of Becoming is also... Yeah, Nexus of Becoming is probably worse. Twin Flame is not bad, but it's not amazing. Aya and Kiran Nalar, pretty good with Goblin Bombardment. Not really a chase red card, but it does the trick. Wheeling that Pillar of Flame we still don't care about. Wheeling a Wrath of God. It's interesting how many white control pieces that we've seen. No More Lies. It looks like a white-blue control deck. Might do really well in the seat that we're in. But we decided to take red cards instead. And we have good red cards. So look at all these blues. Swords to Plowshares is definitely the best here. It's okay to have your opponent gain life when you're gaining that much tempo. Very happy with that. We'd like a few more hits for our 3-tree battalion. We lost both of those. We lost 2 goblin creators. There is the Howl Squad Heavy still that we can get in this pack. And Seer Slicer Goblin at 2 mana. Not that we need those cards, just something to think about. Showdown of the Scalds over Elish Norn. Yeah, I mean, Elish Norn seems fine, but not really great for us. And more importantly, she costs 5 mana. This costs 4. This draws cards. Path to Exile. Another aggressive, or another good white removal spell. Ooh, Jewel Mine Overseer. That's a good one. Jewel Mine Overseer. There's also a Luminarch Aspirant, but I don't think I can risk passing the Overseer. And I think it's probably slightly better than the Adversary. Only slightly, though. Hopefully we can wheel Overlord or Aspirant or a fetch land out of that pack. Keep my hopes low, though. Intrepid Adversary definitely does what we want. Take that over a Bomat Courier. Maybe. And Bomat Courier might be pretty good. We have a lot of good removal. Seven's Reclamation, Rampaging Raptor. I don't want either of those. And Seven's Reclamation can get back some interesting things. I have made it work before. It's kind of underwhelming. Elspeth Conquers Death, Captivating Crossroads. I guess Rogran Triome is our colors. How many more playables do we need? Just a couple? Reckless Stormseeker over this Mana Tithe. As much as I like a good Mana Tithe in my deck. Let's see. How many creatures do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is like not enough for a 3-tree battalion. So I gotta take a couple more creatures. Make sure that I can hit that critical mass of them. I guess Dragon's Rage Channeler makes a little bit of sense with all the non-creature spells I have. As much as I love the idea of a Mana Tithe. Yeah, we just didn't have it. We just don't have enough creatures at 3 or less to hit this 3-tree battalion. I feel like we needed that Stormseeker. Kellen Daring Traveler Wheels. All right. This looks interesting. Well, we have a lot of good aggressive elements. We also have a good number of control elements. Path, Condemn, and Swords. Dust Animus doesn't seem great, but it is 2-drop, 2/3 flyer. It'll beat people down. Twin Flame Tyrant might just be worse than Shivan Devastator. Removal spells. What's our 40th card going to be? And do we want to cut a land from this deck? Hmm. I guess Dragon's Rage Channeler wouldn't be that bad. I don't think the solution is Inferno Titan. I guess it could be. I am making treasures. And the question is, do I want to put that land back in? I just don't have that many fetches, and I don't want to be. I don't want to flood out with this deck. It looks like the kind of deck that could flood out. But it's also the kind of deck that needs 3 or more mana to operate. Twelve creatures, CMC 3 or less. You just don't have any way to like filter through lands. I like the idea of playing one fewer. If I had like 2 more fetches, I wouldn't even think about it. There are a lot of X2s out there that Pillar of Flame can hit. I think it makes sense to have another piece of cheap interaction. Yep, this is the deck. Make sure the mana's good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's run it. Do I want one more mountain? I feel like I have an abundance of plains I don't need. But I do have a bunch of 1-drop white creatures. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 to 9. All right, fire away. We're willing to maybe take out Pillar of Flame and put Kellen in if we feel like we're light on creatures, but I think I like the way this looks. This hand looks good. We have a piggy bank into a Jewel Mine Overseer. We have interaction. We got a curve and interaction. What else can you ask for? Jewel Mine Overseer is probably the best thing we can hit with 3 Tree Battalion. We didn't get any Sanguine Evangelists. Screaming Nemesis. Screaming Nemesis instant speed with 3 Tree Battalion can be hilarious. You can just beat your opponent out of nowhere when they like attack with high power creatures, and you just throw 2 of those on there. We're going to use that treasure. Not a whole lot of ways we can make use of that extra mana. I mean, there are, but this seems like a very good way of making use of that extra mana, since we don't have that many 4-drops. Yep, our opponent would have had removal for our Overseer, and now we just get to end with 2 1/1s. Our opponent still has a bunch of untapped mana. I do not want to play Jewel Mine Overseer into a bunch of untapped mana. Lumbering World Wagon does seem kind of nasty, doesn't it? Dante steals something else. Lumbering World Wagon. I'm going to take the World Wagon. I think it's going to be better for us. Dante gets us one of their cards, but World Wagon could get us like 2 or 3 cards. Which will make our draws better too by thinning our deck of lands. What are the chances my opponent blocks the Loot Monger? Think they'll be afraid to? Yeah, I think they'll probably be afraid to block the Loot Monger and just block a 1/1 instead. That's pretty good. Wow, what a combo. And our opponent has 2 mana left over to do stuff with. Now it is time for the dwarves. Well, I guess I should probably kill the green shell before he draws extra cards from it. Nah, we'll let the green shell live. I don't think my opponent's going to get 4 lands into play this turn. They definitely could. Well, glad that I saved my obliterating bolt, because that would be a big problem. Enduring tenacity with Great Henge. As much as I like the idea of getting Generous Plunderer and just earning our opponent out. Let's see. Generous Plunderer, I could make him. Make 2 treasures. Attack with both. They'd go down to 11. You'd only block one of them. Is Generous Plunderer the way to go? That'll kill our opponent really fast. I think it's a risk. Too much of a risk. We're just going to take 7 dwarves so we can get 2 7 dwarves and draw a bunch of cards. Little power 4 or more. Oh, I can't play Inferno Titan. That was just for this turn. Whoops. That was a mistake. Bloodthirst to Conquer is a beating. Yoldred. Hmm. Bloodthirsty Conqueror is a pretty huge problem, but Shieldred's kind of worse. Let's see, what do I need? 8 cards in my graveyard, and I have 6. This is going to be 7. Our opponent's going way over the top of us here. Chance they mill themselves out, I suppose. Each creature that they play with higher toughness than power draws them 2 cards. They have to figure out a way to win without casting creatures, and that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. 7 plus 7. Is it enough? I don't think that's enough. Which one matters more? Shieldred gets to flip and kill us. Second green shell makes our opponent's team huge. I think we're still more worried about Shieldred. Let's see, if he flips, destroys something. 4 cards left. Next turn, 3 cards left. 2, 1. Yeah, I think we should probably block Shieldred. Hope that our opponent mills themselves out. They left us a 1/1? They could have dealt 1 damage to that. All the dwarves would have died, since they all make each other bigger. That's nice that we have an extra chump blocker. Nice draw. Heck yeah. That's pretty good. Shit. Yeah, I needed to do that before that resolved. Ugh. Starscape Cleric. Pretty good. Opponent's got some cool combos here of life gain. I have not seen a cube deck like this. Takes advantage of Enduring Tenacity and Starscape Cleric. But they do have this infinite combo going. Guess I'll go to 2 here. Ah, very good. Our opponent's keeping from milling themselves out. Well, it's a good thing I didn't play Inferno Titan. Had I let this Enduring Tenacity survive, I guess I could have played Pillar of Flame on it. Definitely could have done things a little bit differently this game. Pretty good. That's going to be good. Only have like 4 lands left in our deck. Well, we're pretty dead to all sorts of things. But it's felt that way for many turns. That 1 life we lost extra from Starscape Cleric. Swords to Plowshares. Uh-oh. That looks dangerous. Eager to draw those 7 dwarves. I wonder how many cards in our opponent's hand are 7 dwarves. Hey, what's up, KevBot? We're trying to figure out how to make this work. We are. Looks like we're not dead yet. Get a card off the top. That's not bad. This has been quite a game. We survived a Nissa ult. It was definitely a turn too early. I think our opponent kind of threw with that play. Can our opponent kill us this turn? They have no cards left in their deck. That Great Henge ended up killing our opponent. Nearly. They're definitely not dead yet. Looks like they're dead. Got him. Good game, walking dude. Wow. What a game. That was close. Just barely hung on there. Jeez, that was a long one, too. All right. Next game. That was fun. And looks good to me. A black-red Den of the Bugbear looks cool. I really don't like the idea of my opponent ramping up. Hitting the Knight of the Ebon Legion meant so if Skyclave Apparition dies, he only gets a 1/1 back, and that sounds attractive, but I felt like Generous Plunder had the ability to put us behind too quickly, too fast. Or too far, too fast. Our opponent could have untapped and played a 4-drop. And we could have untapped and like maybe played a 3-drop and a 2-drop. But our 4-drop would not have been nearly as good as theirs, I imagine. Does this work? Does. I can't attack and get the mocks, but I think that's the best way to do this. That was cool. A free Stoke the Flames. That was quite a big oops on our opponent. We're about to attack for a lot. Wow. Ruby Collector. What a card. Are there the Seamus? Good game. That was quite a beatdown. I didn't like that hand. It was playable, but I did not like it. I wanted something where I actually had some cards to play early, and I gotta be honest, I don't like this a whole lot more, but I do. At least we get to start out with a Goblin Bombardment. Oh, jeez. Showdown of the Scalds is one of the ways we keep from losing. God damn. Both of the cards that draw us extra cards are gone. Jewel Mine Overseer and Showdown. That's not a good sign against a control deck. This one's gonna be tough. I don't think we can win this game, to be perfectly honest. Given the number of cards in each player's hand, I think we have lost. Missing a land drop too. Milling our best removal spells, our best creatures, our best card advantage. That was pretty bad luck from a Ruin Crab. The open mana. We can't afford to get anything countered. Ugh. Wouldn't play Jace. They wouldn't play Jace if they didn't have some counterspell backup. This is going to be a long and grueling, miserable game. Win or lose. Where we just sit here and watch our opponent play a control deck. Them having milled all our best cards. Shrug. Pretty cool Grixis deck our opponent has. Goblin Bombardment makes this timed explosion significantly worse. Well, 3, 4, 5. I can't kill Atali, so I might as well just sacrifice these. Our opponent might have something to deal 2 more damage to the Dust Animus, but it's not like we could have done anything about it. Yep. Oh, that's the real Meat Hook Massacre, not the arena version. Oh, God. What a boring game. Well, that was the antithesis of fun. Let's try again. Yeah, our opponents have been high rolling so hard. They must have Mana Tithe. The only excuse for not pumping up the Hired Claw. That play with fire to my face. If we're able to win, that's why. Because our opponent just threw the game. I don't like the idea of double blocking the Hired Claw because removal. I could have triple blocked it, but then he could have taken out two of my Thopters, and I didn't really like that trade. Yeah, so annoying. Yes! Fuck that guy and his screaming nemesis. That was why I didn't block, because I have like three of those cards that could exile. That mana tithe. Wow. Hmm. Adonto the First Fort makes this race interesting. That is good. So what are the what if I miss? If I miss with 3 Tree Battalion, I might just lose. Okay, taking damage there. Play our own Bone Crusher Giant. Nice. On that superhero trend, you guys are making it through all of them. Green Dragon, thanks for stopping by. The original Captain Marvel movie? That's an excellent, excellent movie. I'm a big fan. Heck yeah, that's awesome, Dream Dragon. Have fun. Marvel movies are such a good time. Wow. Our opponent has some huge creatures all of a sudden. And they're going to be gaining life. So I guess we leave back these 1/1s. That sounds right. Captain Marvel was later in that story arc, wasn't she? The Infinity Saga is awesome. I'm pretty sure I've watched that like final fight on YouTube like 6 times, maybe more. Pretty good. This leaves me with no creatures, but it leaves him with 1 creature. Now we get to showdown. Part 1 and 2 in a row. I don't think that would make sense though. I think your man's leading you in the right direction. There's there's in between this. Are you guys doing Agents of Shield too? Because Agents of Shield actually has some pretty interesting parts of that story that they take over. It was a 3/3, and that's not good enough. I'd rather have a treasure. Agents of Shield, amazing. I thought that show was fantastic. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have to skip the Den of the Bugbear if I want to play, but I don't have to play all 3 of them. So how about I just play this 7 dwarfs? I can play this Dust Animus as a lifelinker, a big lifelinker, and get this, I can give it haste. Fantastic. Nice. Good game, Blue Ninja. What a match. Our opponent's turn 1 Hired Claw. Turn 2 Manatithe. How about that Manatithe call? Couldn't have been anything else. We walked into it anyway, but I suppose it could have been removal, but it didn't make any sense for it to be removal. Feels good to make a good read like that. 3-1. Content looks good. Dust Animus has been quite good, hasn't it? This has won us multiple games. A 2-drop, 2/3 flyer that has significant relevance late game. The 3-tree battalion on turn 3, if this plunderer lives. I'm tempted to just do it main phase since our opponent's in an aggro deck. See if I can get a haster. No haste. Yeah, I mean, we deserve that for having played at main phase. But I was hoping to get a hasty guy and use Ruby Collector. Pump them up. Ruby Collector, make sure we get 2 for 1. Seems like a fair deal. Smuggler's Copter makes a pretty decent blocker. A removal spell off the top. That's not quite good enough. I did not mean to let that tap a white mana. Auto Tapper got me there. Coming in for 3. And I will plot this. What happened to all our opponent's cards? Are they mulligan? Dual Mind Overseer is drawing us lots of cards. That's really what's happening here. This gets the Welcoming Vampire, and then I get an attack. Good game, Schlaphammer. Good game. There are a lot of dwarves out there. Gotta watch out. You have 3 of 7 dwarves. They're pretty big. Imagine having 7 dwarves. And them all being 8/8s. Imagine having 14 dwarves. We do have the capability of generating 14 dwarves. I like this hand. We have a 2-drop, we have an engine, we have removal. Goblin Bombardment is not your traditional engine, but it's a death engine, that's for sure. It churns out damage from cards. Evora. I haven't put this card in my deck yet. It looks okay, but a little bit underwhelming, in my opinion. Oh, ready for this? Our opponent might pump up their Evora. But if I use Skyclave Apparition and then sacrifice it to Bombardment, then I can make this token come back before the card is exiled so that our opponent gets nothing out of it. Oh. This is going to be sweet. Excellent. Doink. Exile. Problem solved. Problems solved. The old twofer. It did require Goblin Bombardment out. So I suppose it's not a true 2-for-1. Is our opponent wondering if I have Wandering Emperor or 3/3 Battalion per chance? In my opponent's shoes, I'm probably just attacking with everything anyway. I guess it depends. He might not have any form of interaction in his hand. He doesn't want to get blown out. Oh, God. Of all the cards. Of all the cards to get. Jeez. I could not really be much worse. I think that's well, it could be worse. I could have hit no creatures. And that is significantly worse. So. Next turn, I can play Shivan Devastator for a nominal. I guess X equals 4, maybe. And then whichever Ruby Collector he blocks, I can ping Kellen. Wait, does it become a 3/2 first? No. What? Their opponent have something in their hand they just can't imagine discarding? Not playing Seasoned Pyromancer there seems pretty strange. Does making Mox Rubies even matter here is the real question. Yeah, that works. That couldn't have gone better. Our opponent playing a mono red deck? It's starting to look like it. Our opponent can produce 9 mana. Do they have anything else? Do they realize they're dead? I don't know if they realize they're dead. I suppose they could have drawn something. Huge attackers. Good game. All right. Ruby Collector, quite strong. Our opponent could have left back like any number of blockers there. And not die. It was a bold move. Ruby Collectors. How did we just win that game? That was nuts. Shivan Devastator for X equals 2. So we can attack with both of them. Ruby Collector's good. We definitely required our opponent to make a mistake or two for us to win that one. But we navigated the waves of uncertainty, came out on top. We don't want Lotus Cobra to survive. It'll produce a lot of mana out of nowhere. Yeah, the weird thing is you can't like block Emerald Collector while your opponent has open mana because they just turn it into a 4/4. So we're just gonna have to let our opponent draw a card here. What's really cool is we're actually gonna flip our Stormseeker here to keep up 3 Tree Battalion. I'm a little bit afraid of a counterspell. I want my opponent to play something like that, for example. Dust Animus, or I guess Skyclave Apparition actually gets rid of my opponent's entire board, so. I did that while my opponent had no open mana. Well, they had 1, but they didn't have 2, and that was what was important. It's pretty good. That Pillar of Flame last. Yep. That should be enough. Good game, Smiley JD. Good game. Six and 1. We're having fun with this one. Some excellent outplays, some good reads. Letting our opponent draw cards just to make him play spells so ours can resolve. Felt like we played that really well. Our opponent was incentivized to play spells that turn because of our Reckless Stormseeker. So it made sense to let them get in so that our spell came unresolved and, more importantly, unprepared for. A Pillar Flame has been very good for us. I gotta get the Rogren Triome so that I can play Skyclave Apparition on turn 3 if I need to. Pretty good. Pretty good draw. Whew. Our opponent's taking a lot of damage fast. Now we're only going to get one land out of that, but at least makes our draws for the next couple turns a lot better than they could have been. Cash. We're about to cash in Bomat Courier for a big payday. Oh man, I'd really, really like to Obliterating Bolt that. But no complaints. Okay, Strix resolves. Easily killed with the Apparition or the Bolt. I'd like to top deck a land. That is a pretty good top deck. That is a damn good top deck. Oh no. I meant to leave Bomat Courier able to sacrifice. That's okay. Good game, Giuseppe. Good game. Our opponent dealt themselves a lot of damage. 2, 4, 6, 7, because they hit the Bone Crusher Giant. Good game. Well, that was fun. This red-white aggro deck, absolutely devastating. A great trophy. The one game we had the chance to play Inferno Titan, we didn't. I think we ended up winning that game, though. We totally won that game. That was a wild first game. Which one did we lose? What did we lose against? Oh, that Grixis deck. That Grixis deck kicked our ass. Just ruin crab into eat my dust. Yeah, they crushed us with the Tali. But that was only our one loss. Got 7 wins otherwise. Had some excellent comebacks. Had some explosive starts. Had some grindy games that we won with our red-white deck. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. I'm Felonious, and I'll see you next time. Peace.